Hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy Friday to you all. I am Gary Godsoe, and welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 9 of Season 5 of the VOR Iconic Series, coming to you from the world's fastest speedway, Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, for the California 250. Joining me in the booth, he just got done with his taxes. He's going to be making more money on a refund than I will this year. It's Kyle Klendworth. Klendy, late night last night at Long Beach. Thanks for making the drive out here to Fontana to be part of this 250-miler here in the VOR Iconic Series. Welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, I was one of few cars still able to make the trip. It was in running condition with no real damage, able to make it from Long Beach here to Fontana. I'm sad to say that there's only a part of a track here, so I might be on site right now, but the drivers here have a full 2-mile oval, when in real life, we just have the front stretch.
And I think they're going to get rid of that here soon. But we are getting ready to go racing. Qualifying is done, so we'll get in today's starting grid. And it's a small field today, so hopefully we see a spirited race and everybody stays in the lead draft. It is Kinder on the pole. Right next to him is our points leader, Liam O'Sullivan. Julian Altena in row 2 with Maddie Sinclair. Another good qualifying effort for Maddie there in 4th spot. Christensen and Santos. 44 Nation represent. He's in row 3 with our former series champion, Edson. Back in row 4 is Strauss and Pim Van Gastel. Back in row 5, Silvazzi and Hesche. Back in row 6, Ortiz and Inch. And row 7 is Weber. Jonas Weber joins the session late. We got 13 cars for 250 miles, 125 laps here at Auto Club Speedway.
It should go by pretty quickly. These drivers will be able to leapfrog and draft. The setup is pretty stable and planted, and put down some really, really good lap times. I know that we've got a couple of AA teammates on the first 2 rows. We've got O'Sullivan and Altena there, with Christensen just behind. I'd look for them to start to dictate the first portion of this race with maybe a 3-car swap.
There are the points coming into today's race. Liam with almost a full race lead over his teammate Julian in 2nd. Jesper Orman not in the lineup in 3rd. Maddie Sinclair might actually catch Jesper with a good finish here today. In 4th, Silvazzi 5th, Hesche 6th, Edson Santos 7th, Strauss 8th, Pim Van Gastel in 9th, and John Christensen in 10th. There you see the remainder of the top 20. Small field taking the green flag here today. It's almost like a bit of a heat race, but for 250 miles, 125 laps. Here we go. Round 9 of the Iconic Series underway. Green flag in the air. Friday afternoon racing, 3 wide already at the start-finish line.
Santos wasted no time splitting them in the middle, and Sinclair was left to lift. He's tucked up right behind Altena as they barrel down into turn 2. Oh, let's go 4 wide here, boys. Let's do it.
That's exactly what we're going to do.
Bottom. Sinclair bails out on the top. Not enough gusto for this first lap, but this will be the type of action we're going to see all day long here at Fontana. Kinder pushes through the middle of the corner. He's going to drift out towards the wall. He's going to have a run here down the backstretch. Let's see if he clears Altena. He'll have sole control of the lead here coming into turn 3. And he's going to pull down to the white line, feeding Altena the dirty air. But O'Sullivan follows through to 2nd.
And ahead, since we have such a small field today, we'll just go ahead and keep the driver inputs on so everyone sees what the drivers are doing when we have the camera focused on them. Daniel Hesche, Liam O'Sullivan actually went purple to start the lap, and then Hesche went purple to finish that lap.
Now, Ortiz, Weber, and Ensch have got to be very careful here. They're about to lose the draft. Ortiz is like just barely within the window to Hesche, and then Weber and Ensch like need to stay hooked to Ortiz here so they don't all lose the pack. The reduced fuel cells the competitors have this afternoon, they're going to look to try to make at least 25 laps on each of their runs to make this a 4-stop race, basically going 25, 50, 75, 100, and then home. If they fail to make that 25-lap benchmark, they're going to be in a world of hurt because you cannot justify taking an extra stop here because it does mean you go a lap down.
Let me hit the B-roll here real quick. And my supplemental overlay somehow got hidden. All right, we're back.
It took a wrong turn from Long Beach. That's what happened. It tried to follow me, but I was too fast.
It's a laid-back Friday afternoon here. Only 12 cars making the start here. Oh, whoa! Christensen almost into the side of Matty there through 3 and 4.
Just getting friendly. They're waving to each other. Saying, hi, how you doing? Been a week. I missed you.
Liam O'Sullivan is your leader with his teammate Julian Altena right next to him there. They are battling out for the points championship. It is possible at the conclusion of the day that after a good race next week, or in 3 weeks when we go to Homestead, that might be enough for Liam to clinch the championship with a race left to go on the schedule. We'll show you the schedule here in a moment.
A solid day.
Yeah,
solid day today, and that'll be well within reach for him.
We'll show you the schedule here in a little bit. We'll have plenty of time for that. Lap 8 of 125.
I think he was immunized against whatever leader pox virus everyone else had about this championship, because once he's got it, he hasn't let go of it, unlike everyone else. And this is what I thought we would see at the beginning. Instead of the 3-wide bout, I thought we'd see a more organized 1-2 swap between teammates, and that's what O'Sullivan and Altena have really started to fall into the cadence of doing. And I don't think the rest of the field will protest much. I think they will all just kind of hang out and ride behind them. But this is bad news for our rear gunners of Weber and Ensch, because if the front two are swapping, that means that whole front train is going much faster than a single file line. And Ortiz has fallen off of Pim Van Gastel, the last car in the lead pack, so those 3 will have to coordinate 3-car swaps to catch this lead pack of 9.
Just about halfway through this first stint already. As Weber kind of up near the wall on 1 and 2. Go ahead.
I think 25 is the minimum number of laps you need to make. I believe that the fuel cells will easily take them to 30, but going to 30, you'd have to go to 32 to cut a stop, and I don't think that that is possible.
I think at 25, you can really hustle the car. You can abuse the tires because their stints are shorter. And it's going to be a shorter fill on the fuel. That the pit stop should be quicker if you go at 25 every 25 laps.
Yeah, and a lot of times you don't worry about that time save until the last stop, because you just kind of save all those gallons for the end, so that way you come in, with 25 to go with a tank that's kind of full versus, trimming a gallon throughout the race. Now, Edson Santos is known to be a gallon trimmer all throughout the afternoon, which gives him kind of the opportunity to leapfrog other drivers during the pit cycle by saving time on pit road. He's really become a master of that strategy. Tracks like this where the draft is so powerful, I much prefer the one big time chunk at the end, especially if you don't have any friends to dance with out on the racetrack.
Oh, getting dicey back here with Hesje, Christensen, and it's Pim Van Gastel.
Going 3 wide is not the fastest way around here. It's definitely the most fun. But I think they've learned that it's better to sort this out, get in line, and suck back up to the leading leaders. Trying to think of what you can call a 10 of something. Like, it's not a quartet, it's not a dozen. I couldn't come up with whatever a 10 is. So, somebody more clever than me could do it on the spot.
We could maybe ask ChatGPT that question. ChatGPT, what is a group of 10 called?
I don't trust ChatGPT. If it can't figure out a points formula for how to win a championship, it won't know English words. It learns from its own mistakes, unlike racing drivers. Interesting that O'Sullivan and Altena have kind of ceased swapping, and now O'Sullivan is kind of riding in Julian's hip pocket, so to speak. Basically putting his front wing right in the side pod of Julian's car. So their lap times aren't exceptional currently. And they're creating a big pocket of air for the cars behind them to potentially fuel save in. But they are also making that dirty air. It's the same thing, right? What you save fuel with also wears your tires. So it's a catch-22. You can't get it both ways.
Near as I can tell, a group of 10 is called a decade. Not a decade, but a decade.
Like
DECAD.
a decad, like a dyad, decad.
Yeah. I didn't ask how to say it, but I think you're probably closer to what I said. Yeah. And Julian and Edson running it out here now for seconds.
Of course, O'Sullivan's going to be giving Altena the draft on the straights. But you see here, he pulls down to give Santos the dirty air.
Dirty air, the corners, yeah.
And now he runs right in the middle. Bit cheeky there, Liam.
And then Julian just slices across the front and gives him a face full of dirty air. Whoa, and there's Strauss on the high side, getting very close there, getting his nose in there, but thinking better of it.
Well, as this field gets strung out like this, because of the chops and the wash from the car in front, it would allow these two leaders to check out and get away from the rest of the pack if Liam and Julian play their cards right here. Basically, what I would anticipate is that Liam's going to leave a lane for Julian, and Julian's going to cut just like that, right in front of Santos on apex to make Santos wash on exit, so Julian can build a run that Santos cannot match down this long curved straightaway. A little bit of juking and ducking the draft away from your competitors goes like, it's only a couple of hundredths or a couple of tenths at a time, but if you stack them up once and you build a good run, it is possible to break away so long as the cars behind you are not working together. Especially as you get their tires really hot and you make them work hard to stay on your coattails, eventually they're basically working harder to go slower than you. Ooh, O'Sullivan had to lift coming out of turn 4. And he had clean air. Santos did the same thing with a face full of dirty wash.
Gavazzi up 5 spots. He now threatens Strauss on the high side as 3 of these Team Watson racing cars now hook up for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Could be a big day for them if they come up here turn challenge with these Altena cars. Little 3-on-2, they got the numbers advantage while Christensen's hanging out with the rear of the pack. Got to get Nick Wheeler in here, get me up to snuff on my power play language when we've got a numbers advantage.
21 of 125, so that window for the 4-stopper is quickly approaching. It will be here soon for anyone who wants to take that opportunity.
Now, Sullivan has almost broken the draft to Altena, so this is a really big moment. And Santos has broken the draft back to Strauss. He's got a second between them. That's what I'm talking about, just a couple hundredths at a time, right? That's all it takes to break the draft envelope, and then you're kind of on your own island.
At 200 miles per hour, it adds up pretty quickly.
Julian's really backing the corner up. He's going to lose the draft big time here, coming out of turn 2.
Big lift for Silvazzi in turns 1 and 2, coming to the backstretch.
That's because Santos and Altena are taking up the 2 best lanes on the track and just dumping that dirty air down on them. And then Kinder tried the high side through 3 and 4 and just did not get a good exit. He's going to get swallowed up and go to the back of the pack. Wonder if Julian is playing the good defenseman here and just saying, you know what, Liam, you go run your race. I'm going to back everyone else up. Make sure they can't pass me. Well, here comes Santos to the bottom. Let's see what Julian does on exit. If he pinches or if he gives room. Tons of room.
Gives room, yeah.
But then O'Sullivan, I think he's outside of the envelope, so it doesn't matter. But he pulled down to the bottom as if he was helping Santos. But in reality, he's just cutting the distance of the front stretch because it is so curved. Sinclair now ripping the boards, trying to find a way around Pim Van Gastel. And Heshy to the inside of Christensen. They've got to get it squared and sorted so they can start making better lap time. Otherwise, Strauss and Silvazzi are going to walk away, and then we're going to have 5 cars at the front, or I guess 4 cars battling for second, and then 5 cars battling for 6th? Yes. Haha, I can math.
That's for doing those taxes.
I mean, freetaxusa.com did it all for me. I just told it the truth to the best of my ability. Doing your taxes when you live in 2 states in 1 year is kind of a mess. I do not recommend it. Luckily, I won't have to do that again.
I've had to do it where I worked in one county and I lived in another. That's the most I've had to do here recently.
Ooh, Indiana taxes you on a county level on your federal and state returns? That's disgusting.
Yeah, you have a federal tax, and then you have state tax, and then all the local stuff. Yeah.
Well, in reasonable, civilized states like Illinois and Maryland, they just care about where you live. They don't care about where you work. Ortiz is coming to pit road. He's well off the pace of this lead pack. But he made it to that 25 lap benchmark, so he will not need to stop an additional time. The real question will be, is anyone trying to save to get to, I think it's 33. They give you 33 once and then 32 the rest of the times. Let me see.
Well, I frankly don't know how Liam's saving any fuel, but...
Well, he's not. Well, I mean, he might be now. Look at Altena. Altena's closed back up quite a bit. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Santos. Yeah, so if you can ever go 33 laps, the rest of the stints are all 31. So it's either go 32 every time, and 31 once, or 33 once and then 33 the rest. Sorry, 31 the rest of the times. So it's either the 25 or the 32 and some change, we'll call it. And it looks like these drivers, the leaders, are all looking to do the 32 and some change. But O'Sullivan will be the first one to surrender, definitely, because he's been put before.
If you enjoy Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR Iconic Series and you respect the stream, please do us solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future VOR iRacing broadcasts. The next race for us tomorrow afternoon. It's the Velocity Online Racing Grand Prix of Portland, our first race ever at Portland International Raceway. Join us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That would be Saturday. We'll see you then as the IndyCar Championship continues late in the season at its final road course, Portland International Raceway. Only one chance to win a first-time race ever, so we'll see who's in line for that victory. And here comes Liam O'Sullivan, the pit road, for his first scheduled stop. As he gets a 32, and Strauss in the wall.
That's day done for Strauss.
Oh,
His
no.
steering is all sorts of messed up. Just locked up, came in too hot. No black flag, but you've got too much damage there. I think you're going to be done for the day, buddy.
Definitely the nose is very askew. He seems to be tracking straight. We'll see.
I don't think he is. I think his tires are all sorts of mucked up. So we'll see if he's on pit road for an extra 5 seconds for the nose or more for suspension. Just the nose.
Daniel Hesje's staying out long. In fact, he's the only driver that stayed out the longest. And he's coming to pit.
Lap.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, he's coming to pit road right here, coming 34 to 35.
Yep, and that one lap will save him, I don't know, it's about half a gallon of gas at the very end of the race. But if he keeps doing it, right, it's half a gallon on the first stint. That becomes 1 gallon by the second stint. Then a gallon and a half by the third stint. And that's, I don't know, a second and a half on pit road that you don't have to wait for fuel. The question is, do you give up more than that in track time trying to save the fuel? And again, on a draft heavy track like this, it's pretty easy to save the fuel and go fast. It just matters more about executing your stop and coming out with the dancing partner. Because if you look at here, O'Sullivan and Altena are all by themselves on the front stretch as they bomb past Hesje, well up to pace.
Something happened with Edson on that pit stop. He is back in 7th spot. It's now Liam and Julian breaking out to the front. Seb Kinder now 3rd.
Let me look. I mean, he entered right ahead of Altena, and Altena locked up. Let's see, maybe he almost lost it on pit exit? No, he missed his box.
Okay, he was on pit road for 43.8 versus Liam's 39.3 and Julian's 37.6. So Julian with a very effective stop on pit road. Edson in the box 8.4 seconds, while Julian in the box for just 8 flat. Liam O'Sullivan in the box for 8.5. So Julian the big winner on pit road. But he's just out of the draft envelope of Liam.
I think Liam might throw him a bone and back up to him. because Kinder is not within Altena's draft envelope, and I think O'Sullivan would stand to go faster and save fuel if he and Julian can work together here. However, they are fighting each other for the title. Liam might feel like he can just walk away with this race all by himself, and the pack has strung out to the point where I wouldn't expect there to be a yellow in this race any longer.
Right.
Oh, just as I say that, Sinclair gets bargy there on the exit of 4 with Santos.
This season started out back in January. Liam O'Sullivan got the win at Texas Motor Speedway. Then Jesper Orman won the next 2 races at Michigan, the sister track here to California Speedway. And Milwaukee. Then Daniel Hesje won his first breakthrough win of his career here in the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series with the win at Iowa. Edson Santos got the win at Legacy, Kentucky. Liam O'Sullivan gets his second win of the season at Indianapolis. Julian finally got the monkey again off his back here on the Iconic side of things. He got the win at Kansas last month. And then Liam got his 3rd win of the season at Phoenix just last week.
Yeah, and he's legging it out here on Julian, so I'm thinking he's going to go back-to-back.
We're watching Maddie Sinclair, but we'll get back up to our close battle on the racetrack. There's Christensen, Silvazzi, and Hesje all running together. This is for 4th, 5th, and 6th.
And see, this is where I would be lighting up the comms if I were Christensen. I'd say, hey, look, Patrick. Hey, look, Daniel. We can work together, catch Seb, and then maybe even catch Julian. Hesje's got a big run here down the back. If they don't let him filter in front, and if he doesn't let them filter around on the front stretch, those types of runs get wasted. Like, you have to use that run to build a gap between you and the car behind. So Christensen here will build an equally big run. Hesje's got to give him the bottom. He does. Good. They are now working together. So their lap time last time around, Hesje was 1/10 of a second faster than Seb Kinder. And they ran the same lap time as O'Sullivan and Altena. So little by little, that 1/10 of a second, right? It's going to take 10 laps to get 1 second. And that means it's going to take 30 laps to build up the 3 seconds to Kinder, right? So they've really got to start working now, because they'll catch Kinder by lap 70 if, you know, they have an identically timed pit stop.
Scott Christensen checking in the chat. Riveting stuff. We do our best when only 12 cars are on the racetrack.
Hey, it's 4th grade math, okay? Somebody's got to teach it. I'm really surprised that Julian could not keep up with Liam on that first stint. I guess the clean air mattered a lot more than I had thought from my testing. And Liam just roasted Julian's tires and then just drove away. I mean, they're trading lap times now, but Julian's so far back it doesn't matter.
Well, it looks like Edson Santos has caught this group, so now it's a 4-way battle for 5th, a 4-way battle for 4th. It's Hesje in the yellow car, Christensen in the call it the Easter egg blue car there. Then Santos with the blue rims, and then the pink car, Silvazzi.
Julian's taking a nap. He's typed, looks like 20 letter Z's into the chat. So he agrees with you, Mr. Christensen, in the chat. He's having a riveting time on this racetrack this afternoon.
And Scott says tax chat is awesome. Hey, if you have any tax questions for Clendy, go ahead and ask them in chat. He'll be happy to answer them for you.
I'm not a tax professional. Please seek professional guidance of a tax
Seek
advisor.
professional help if you ask Clendy for questions on taxes.
Man, I work in finance. I can't jeopardize myself that way.
Already through, kind of halfway through this second stint. Give you the reports on everyone on that first stint. 32 laps for Liam O'Sullivan, 33 for Julian, 31 for Kinder, 33 for Christensen, 34 for Hesche, 33 for Santos, 32 for Silvazzi, 31 for Matty, Pim at 31, Strauss at 32, Inch, Weber, and Ortiz 32, 33, and 27. So we'll see Ortiz probably coming to pit road the soonest. He's 19 laps into his stint. He came in at 27 last time, unless he decides he wants to go long on this stint. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed much. This is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR Iconic Series, coming to you from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana for the California 250. We've completed now 49, now coming to 50 almost of 125 laps. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Next race for us will be tomorrow afternoon as we're 3 wide for the position. And the two Brazilians got very close.
You know, they're just comfortable with one another.
Next race
helping. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I would say just next race for us is tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Clendy and I will go catch the puddle jumper up to Portland to catch the IndyCar Series at Portland International Raceway for the first time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Hesche now on the inside of Christensen in the 3, trying to get a run there so they can work on this draft tandem again. Let's get you some gaps here so we can kind of tell. From Julian back to up to O'Sullivan, it's 2 seconds. Kinder is 3.5 behind Julian. Christensen only 2.5 or 2.1 behind Kinder.
Yeah, and Santos is kind of messing that up. They had caught Kinder by about 2 to 3 tenths a lap, and until Santos is like, I want to lead this pack. Now Hesche and Christensen have slowed their assault forward.
And Matty Sinclair has almost caught this pack, so this is going to be a 5-car pack here soon.
We'll just pretend the top 3 doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's well. I mean, they might as well not with the way that they're separated from the rest of the group.
Well, we got a long way to go. We're at 52 of 125. We're just about a little more than a third of the way home. So, coming up to halfway here in about 15 laps.
Now, we've only been racing for about 30 minutes, so we're pretty quickly getting into this thing.
Told you it'd go fast. These cars are not slow. Okay, so Scott Christensen wants to know the over-under on the number of cars wadded up in turn 1 tomorrow. Gary?
Oh, there's going to be a couple, for sure. I'll go with 5. That is a very difficult turn 1, and if you haven't been practicing, and especially in a live fire exercise with other cars, I expect turn 1 to be a bit of a cluster tomorrow.
If Luis Nunez does not qualify on the pole, and I expect him to handily, I think the only way he loses that race is if somebody totally misses turn 1 on lap 1 and plows right into the backer side of him. I think that's his only weakness tomorrow. Ooh, Christensen's going to get compromised here by Santos. Shane Coker checking in, lost track of time, upset for missing the race. Hey, man, can you still join the league room? Is that a thing you can do? Can you join a league after it started? Just hop out on the track?
You might be able to do a shadow race.
I mean, that's not the same. I want Shane out there on the track and messing up the leader's day. That'd be fun.
Oh,
Santos is around and Christensen's
and here's
collected.
that caution.
He just got really greedy on exit. I think he was leading that train. Didn't even have dirty air because they were not close enough behind Seb Kinder. He just bent old doldrums, lost focus. Christensen might be okay.
Oh, no. It was Edson up into the wall.
Yeah. Santos was leading the train. He just lost focus. I think Christensen just needs a new nose cone. Should be 15 seconds for the whole nose cone, different than just the wing. Now, this could make things interesting on the fuel side because we're not yet to lap, 64, where we needed to be. I think this could create a hyper save situation, and the only driver we've seen that's been able to go further than everyone else is Heshy.
Well, watch from Heshy's point of view. He missed. Look, I think Heshy actually hit the wall a little bit too, and he missed it all barely.
Might need some new black gold racing driver's suit.
Yeah. Christensen's still rolling, and he's going to come to limp at the pit road. Everybody coming to pit road right now. Santos went ahead with the tow. His day is done, pretty much.
Strauss, Van Gastel, Ensch, and Weber, and Ortiz, that's such a big blessing for them. They were so far off the main pack. They were in jeopardy of going a lap down by the end of the next cycle.
Well, and it's going to be imperative on them on this next restart to stay with the draft.
I think Julian got a speeding penalty on pit road.
No black flag, just took his time.
I think he knew he was going to get the end of line black flag, so he just sat in his box anyway to not cause any confusion. Because if it's one that's served by an end of line from iRacing, it doesn't show up as a black flag in the entries queue.
Well, he is going to be, he's going to have to hope that everybody in front of him does well on this restart and stays in the draft. Otherwise, I mean, you really, when it's time to go in these cars, you need to be on the tail of the car in front of you. If you're not, you're just going to slowly lose that draft.
No napping. I would bet you $100 Julian's going to come and top off the tank here.
Yep, there he is.
$100 for me, baby. Put it to my tax return. Just pile it on.
All right. Well, everyone went right about 25 laps on that stint, so we are now at lap 60. I think we're going green this time by. Yeah, lights are out on the pace car. So that caution saved a good number of drivers' race experience today. And we're getting ready to go green at lap 60. To resume here our 250-mile race here for the California 250 in Fontana at Auto Club Speedway. Green flag in the air.
Green, green, green.
Really good reactions throughout the field. No big gaps. Can't get overcome just by running single file here. Kinder going to the bottom around O'Sullivan. I think O'Sullivan is committing hard to the fuel save. Like I said, pitting here at lap 60, you're going to be about 4 laps short. You got to save 2 laps on this run and 2 laps on your next run.
Liam O'Sullivan goes back to 4. Seb Kinder now your new leader. With Kinder, Silvazzi, Strauss, your top 3. So those 3 Team Watson cars link back up.
I'm thinking that we thought Strauss's day was over during the first pit stop. Well, what a rebound.
And John goes back with his teammate Julian in the back of the pack. So scheming going on with the Altena Autosports cars. I think they're just going to try to hook up and save some fuel.
In fact, Gastel signaled that he's pitting in. That might have been just a fat finger on the keyboard.
Well, he just set a purple lap, actually. 2:20.5 that time by.
He could go off strategy. You could come in now, get just your splash of fuel, then work your way through the field by undercutting. As long as you get your lap back under green, it could work. It's just a bit crazy.
Nope,
so I think maybe...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's some... Robert Malechka III galaxy brain really doesn't need to get done right now.
Riding with our points leader, Liam O'Sullivan, just over his head. And we passed the halfway point just a little bit ago. We are now firmly into the second half of this race, 67 laps of 125. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on this Friday afternoon matinee racing here in the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series. Kinder, Silvazzi, Strauss, O'Sullivan, and Weber, your top 5 here for the California 250. A small but spirited field started this race.
Santos, some alliteration for your Friday afternoon.
He is out, unfortunately, but still 12 cars remain.
You never want to wish bad luck on any of your competitors, but Sunday night come votive, I'm going to need Santos to put in a performance equal to the one today. And that'll make me feel a whole lot better going into Indianapolis.
That's the vote of Indy Oval Series. 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time start time over on P1 and the P1 channel on YouTube. And that will be at that's Charlotte?
Yep, Charlotte. And Gestel and Hesche are competing to see who's the better yellow and black car. Sure, Luis Nunez would win that debate, should he be here. He'll save that for tomorrow. I've got great news, Gary. The federal government has accepted my tax return.
Oh. Fantastic.
Altena is saying that Sinclair owes him for services rendered, that being a draft to the lead pack.
They'll get up there just at the right time.
I mean, speaking of which, this league is free to enter. So if you've
got
the desire to race this DW12, the DW12 is also free. All you need to do is own the tracks. I think Julian does a good job of scheduling a lot of free tracks too. So if you're less able to own a bunch of content on iRacing and still want to get your feet wet in open wheel racing in the communities that come from leagues, go ahead and sign up. I think there's a link to the Discord in the description of the video.
Could be.
We'd love to have you out on the track. We can call you out when you do something really cool on the racetrack and give you a cool nickname. Share it with your friends and family and get them to like and subscribe and share the channel. Rising tide lifts all ships, so that's what we're here for. We live and breathe it, right, Gary?
Yes, we do. IndyCar racing, as they used to say about the NBA basketball, it's fantastic. They were watching Julian in P8 back up front. It is Kinder, Silvazzi, and Strauss. That is kind of stabilized. Liam O'Sullivan in fourth. Jonas Weber has joined O'Sullivan in fifth. Yeah, certainly if you like what you see. Ooh, Julian, a bit of a interesting exit off of 4 there.
You wanted to try the Santos line.
Yeah. If you do like what you see and you'd like to be part of future races of the VOR Iconic Series, the Discord invite is in the description. And you can join that and sign up or learn more in the Discord server. As mentioned, the car is free. Part of your base iRacing package. Joining the league is free. All you need, as Clindy said, is the desire and the tracks on the schedule. So if you think you got what it takes to join the ranks of the VOR Iconic drivers, we encourage you to sign up today. 2 races left this season. Here is the remaining schedule. Oop, there it is.
They also say that about basketball, right? Oop, there it is.
Next race is in 3 weeks at Homestead, Miami. And then after that, we will wrap up at Chicagoland. I still don't have any data on if we are going to have a Season 6 or when that might be. It's Heshy up front making a bold move. Oh, contact! Oh!
Is that Sinclair?
That is Weber.
Yo, the whole right side of that car has been destroyed. Looks like Pim Van Gastel was down beneath him on the bottom. They touched side pods and it sent Weber on a one-way trip to destroyed Delara Town.
And that was not netcode. That was not netcode. That was a solid hit. And I think let's ride. I want to ride with Julian here because he just missed this. Watch out the back of Julian's car here. Whew. And just about got Matty. And Ortiz had to take evasive action on the backstretch. So we're under caution. Everybody's gonna come to pit road. We did 20 laps on that stint. Still going to have one more stop for everybody if they want to bring this thing home.
Dan Ensch, I think, stayed out. He felt comfortable with the fuel he's saved, or is just going to pit next time by to cycle back out at the rear.
Kinder off those that came to pit road. He's off first. Salvazzi second. Strauss in third. Liam fourth. But Dan Ensch, as you mentioned, is the leader. Stayed out. He would be 21 laps on this set of tires in this tank. He maybe knows I still have to make one stop anyway. So does everyone else. Get some track position here.
He might be trying that strategy I talked about earlier. Basically, the undercut is very effective and very powerful here if you can work your way through the field after stopping early. Just requires the race to go green and you to have the pace to rip through that field with your new tires and full tank.
Now, maybe he sees that as a possibility and is going to attempt it here.
It's definitely the hand he has dealt himself. Will be coming to green next time by. And I doubt he'll pull off to pit then. It'll probably be in 12? I want to say 12 laps?
Yeah, that will get him
13.
Yeah, that will get him into 92, 93, somewhere in there. And
got
then
the Julian fan club showing up here.
Yeah, if he gets to, he needs to get to 93 because that will give him. Then he'll need to turn 32,
which we've seen accomplished so far this afternoon. So yeah, I'm just all over the math today, Gary. The only thing I messed up was the fuel window. Once I figured out what the fuel window was, haven't missed a beat.
Coming to green next time by. Ensch, Kinder, Salvazzi, O'Sullivan, and Strauss will be bringing us to green. Coming to green at lap 81. 125. $11 cars remain. They're all in your picture right there. And green flag in the air. Here we go.
Inch Nation rise up. He's the only one on this alternate strategy, and he has the lead of the race here, as all drivers need to complete at least one more pit stop to get to the end of the day.
Kinder wastes no time. Neither does Silvazzi. Inch stays high.
This is where those Watson cars can kind of team up and do what the Altena Autosports cars did at the beginning of the day. Take the two best lines of the track. Yeah, Inch got in the wall.
Inch got in the wall, and I think Pim got loose.
O'Sullivan stalking the two teammates at the front. Let's see which lane he chooses here into 3. He's got a pretty big run. He's going to go to the bottom. But it's going to be a 3v1 dogfight at the front. The Watson cars have taken the high side down the front. Kinder gets back around. Strauss is side by side. And look, Silvazzi's going to dump the dirty air. Oh, he didn't get to the bottom in time. He could have dumped way more air on O'Sullivan. He's playing nice.
Strauss has the purple lap now.
And these 4 are not far enough ahead from Julian to break the envelope. Julian still has a whiff of their draft.
Three wide through 1 and 2.
We call that attack pattern delta. Leader in the middle, second and third flanked behind, low and bottom each.
Julian purple that time by 220.9.
He got a big toe all the way around this track from the 4 cars ahead of him. Possible he goes purple again this time by, depending on how he gets through 3 and 4. I don't think the high side's the way to do it, though. Silvazzi pinching O'Sullivan on exit there.
Top 7 altogether on the racetrack right there.
So the real question becomes who's going to blink first when it comes to pit stops. We know Dan Inch is going to be short on fuel and will have to pit before everyone else. But among these leaders, who's going to be the first one to put themselves in the danger zone?
Dan has already fallen back to 11th.
I think the tires do matter quite a bit. Oh, Tena's in the
contact!
wall. Oh, no! That's Strauss.
Ooh, everyone missed.
Oh, he got... No, not everyone. He got hit by Ortiz. I think he just needs a nose cone again.
But he's going to tow. He just towed.
No, Matthias, no.
Go back a little bit further here. See what happened.
Julian bounced off the wall. And then in the process of saving the car, Julian came down and forced Strauss into a spin. Julian sounds pretty remorseful over the radio. He feels like he took a good day away from one of his competitors.
And I don't know how hard of a hit that was for Julian, but he could be damaged as well. And now the group of 7 that was up front now is a group of It's going to be 5 on the same strategy. Looks like Heshy is leading the group to pit road.
And I really like stopping here. You'll have those fresher tires, which Ench showed do matter.
Oh.
And your fill at the end will be very, very short.
Ortiz sliding sideways into his box.
Oftentimes we see Heshy take a patient and measured approach to these races, but I think he's really put himself in a position to go on offense and go on offense hard here. So we'll see what he does in that BGR machine with his 4 fresh tires.
Now, if he could go 32 laps from this point, that gets him to 120. Now, we got a couple more laps under caution, and he might even go as bold as come down pit road and top off. But he's going to be right there on the cusp of, if he has enough fuel, this is now his last stop.
Or, if the race ends under yellow, if the yellow comes out, with 5 or 6 to go, he can be on the track, have the field a lap down, and then bank on that yellow to get him home.
He's going to stay out. He's in first gear. I kind of expected him to be in 6th and kind of clutching and coasting, but that's not his plan. So we'll see how he does. He did go on his very first. I think he did 34 or 35. So if he does 34 or 35, he's even closer. So he might have the possibility of that is his final stop.
I think this first lap will tell us all we need to know if he's on full push or full save. And honestly, I don't think there's a wrong strategy for him right now. I think he could do either, and he's still in the best position of all the drivers on the racetrack.
I think everybody that came to pit road that time, Heshy, Pim, Matty, even Inch and Ortiz, if they can make this last tank go as long as possible, they could be done.
Yeah, with so few cars on the racetrack, I don't see why you wouldn't pit.
Well, the number of games have evened out and now gone into the advantage of Altena Autosport up front. You got Altena Autosports in 1st, 4th, and 5th. Team Watson cars in 2nd and 3rd. Here we go. Green flag coming to lap 90.
Green flag.
O'Sullivan goes a little late in the restart zone. Wolf in his right. Not quite a new garden start, but everyone behind reacts very well. Orderly.
The top 5 are 11 laps since their last pit. Look at those bumps on the outside, just tossing these cars all over the place.
And if you play with your force feedback on pretty high, like the wheel wants to jump out of your hand on this backstretch.
Wags checking in. Here's the weather conditions. We haven't really talked much about the weather. Here you go. 88 ambient, 95 on the track.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Heshy's right with him.
Yeah, I think he's on offense. Just going to rely on the shorter fill. I think the tires matter so much that you're going to take the tires. but he will get to just match fuel 2 tires instead of having to wait on any fuel.
Tried with the Brazilian. Listen to his throttle inputs. He goes to 5th gear down the backstretch. That first group pulling away a little bit. Catches back up in 1 and 2. Up to 6th gear there. Gonna drop a gear in 1 and 2.
Easy, Kinder, easy, Kinder, easy, Kinder. Woo, boy.
Oh. You saw it right there from the point of view. Daniel Hesje got really close between Julian and Seb Kinder.
If I'm Hesje, I'm starting to get a little worried that Christensen and Kinder aren't going to get this sorted out. Because the front 3 could break away here if Christensen's not dedicated, or if Kinder and he don't play nicely together through these next set of corners.
Seb's still looking for that, Patrick Salvazzi there, the pink and purple car on the top side of Liam O'Sullivan there, battle for first. Looking for his first win here in the Iconic Series. He has wins at the VOR IndyCar level, but not on an oval. So he is looking for that oval win. In fact, out of all the career starters, the career start leaders in the Iconic Series, Julian leads all starters with 33 starts. Christensen at 31. Salvazzi has the most starts without a win. He has 29. So he is looking to break the drought. Thinking about 3 wide. Julian on the high side. Big run. And his teammate's going to be there to help him. Yep, exactly. Yep.
This is why the numbers matter so much.
Yeah, Salvazzi has 2 wins at the VOR IndyCar level. The IndyCar Championship. He won at Watkins Glen this season, in season 13. He won also previously at the Indy Road Course, and we're 3 wide behind him.
And this is what I'm talking about. That 3 wide is slow. They're not going to catch up till Salvazzi, O'Sullivan, and Altena running like that.
Seb again pushing badly in 1 and 2, getting really close to Hesje. Hesje gets by on the high side, gets the position. Now he needs to try to run down Christensen, see if they can work together to get to this lead pack.
Julian goes to the lead here. He's not clear of Liam, but I think he wanted to pull down.
24 to go. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 9 of 11 of VOR Iconic Series, coming to you from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana for the California 250, where Liam O'Sullivan, our points leader, has led pretty much the bulk of this race. We've had a couple of oddball yellows and a really small field, so you don't expect to see a lot of yellows in a small field, but we've had that today. We've had 3 yellows, 3 cautions. So make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for the Iconic Series is 3 weeks from today, April 25th, as the series heads to Homestead, Miami Speedway for the penultimate round of the championship. So don't miss it, and we'll see you guys there as Julian shoots to the front now.
So Vazzi's positioned himself well on O'Sullivan here. If Julian takes the bottom, runs the middle, gives his teammate clean air through the first 3 quarters of the turn. Liam O'Sullivan's coming to pit road, so Vazzi's coming to pit road. Their positions could be dictated here by who gets on and off of the pit road faster. Christensen's coming.
Seb's coming.
So is Kinder. Christensen and Kinder made up a lot of time on those front 2. No black flags. Everyone down to speed appropriately.
Now, when does Julian make that turn down pit road? And then how long? Because now Heshy, how much fuel did he save back there racing? I don't think he saved an awful lot. I think he's going to be short too. And here he comes down pit road. He's going to make his final stop now.
It's not about what Heshy had saved. It's about what he had in the tank to start with.
That's true.
Heshy had more in his bank account than these others, so he needs a little less to get to the finish. I'm interested to see if he takes tires here.
We'll watch him as he makes the run down pit road. Slides in. Oh, had to back up just a little bit. He is going up on jacks, so he is getting a new set of tires. And as soon as he came down and those wheels hit the ground, his stop was done, so there was no waiting for fuel there. Julian now with a big lead. We still expect him to come to pit road as the sun now hides behind the clouds. That will cool things off. Julian 28 laps into his stint. There's Pim and Maddie. They are 20 laps into their stint. They're going to have to stop tune again. Sun has gone behind the clouds here. Ortiz in 4th. He's the last car on the lead lap, and he's going to try to stay low, but Julian's going to use him.
Every 1/10 of a second matters. That slingshot's probably 2/10 of a second for Altena, especially since he can get back to the bottom here for the corner.
And Liam O'Sullivan, 221.8 purple lap there. So he's pushing on those new tires and light tanks. Julian stays out. Vazzi will cycle to second when Julian comes to pit road, more than likely. Needs to really run down Liam, and that's going to be difficult to do with the gap between them at 1.3 seconds.
Julian might do fuel only. I know he likes to roll the dice and do things contrarian.
32 laps into his stint. When does he make that turn down pit road? 15 to go. Oh, not this time either. There's Hesche and Christensen. This is for 8th. Lovazzi around Ortiz. That is for 6th on the racetrack. Or 6th in the order, excuse me. They're still a lap down. They still need Julie in the pit.
Pim and Maddie have an outside chance of stretching the fuel all the way. It's kind of that Hesche strategy we talked about earlier, right? If they get a yellow, under 10 to go and are still on the track, they'll be able to make it.
Julian, pit road, final stop underway.
That gives Pim Van Gastel the lead.
He might be able to get another 6 or so laps out of this. Same thing with Matty.
I think Matty can go further than that. He's been light on his right foot.
Oh, he is going on low on the racetrack that he can. He is clutching and coasting right now.
You better watch his mirror. Liam O'Sullivan's going to be getting real big there pretty soon. He's got 19 seconds ahead of Liam, but I think he's losing close to 3 seconds a lap.
Listen to that.
So quick math will be 6 laps, and Liam will be 1 second behind him. 6 laps from now is 4 to go. So I think if Matty gets that caution with 4 to go, he will be in the lead and still on the track if he continues at this pace. And he'll win the race if that happens. I think if this goes green to the end, he will get past just on pace.
He can't make that track any shorter, though. He is on that white line all the way around. And we'll show you last lap speeds. And to see what look at Sinclair that time by 2:02, but 1:99 the lap before everyone else. O'Sullivan 2:18. Lovazzi 2:18, Julian 2:18.
So 16 miles an hour lap pace. Think about it this way. After 1 hour, that's 8 extra laps, right? So if they ran a race for an hour at this pace, O'Sullivan would lap Matty Sinclair 8 times. 8 times.
See what Pim does. Pim, 30 lap old tires. I suspect he's coming to pit road the next lap or 2. I think he can go and get it within 6 to go. Well, he might surprise me. We'll see. 8 to go here, now 7 to go at California. 14 miles.
I think Pim is banking on that yellow to get him home. Matty's going to get home with fumes in the tank, but I don't know if he has the pace to hold off everyone who's pit.
Here are your intervals again. And we'll show you the gaps, because the gap to Sinclair and O'Sullivan. There it is. 6.2 seconds now. 6 seconds.
Yeah, Sinclair's going to get caught in 2.5 laps here. And there's nobody racing side by side that could be that miracle yellow that he needs.
Unless if Pim comes to pit road and spins out.
That'll be coming off of pit road.
Yeah,
probably.
that's about the only way we'll see a yellow here. Or we get an unfortunate wheel DC or something here in the closing stages. 6 to go, so I'm expecting Pim to make the turn down pit road about any time now.
Salvazzi and Altena have exchanged positions. Altena will now be the second car that has pit, running 4th overall. Sinclair's going to get past this lap by O'Sullivan. Unless he really lights the wick. But no, he's still clutching.
He's clutching and coasting. Julian, 2:22.7 in the closing stages. Here is Liam. He is to the backside of Matty. Matty just clutches and coasts and keeps it down low, and Liam streams on by. Now Liam in second. Julian streams on by on the high side. There goes the podium, for Matty, but still trying to get a good finish here.
And Pim Van Gastel has surrendered the lead for fuel and tires.
I just did
just fuel.
Fuel only.
Not up on the jacks.
So that now gives the lead to O'Sullivan and Julian in the draft window. Three to go. Does Julian get his second win of the season, or does Liam get his 4th? Here we go. No team orders. Gloves are off.
We'll see who's who among these boys in blue.
Julian has slightly fresher tires. He goes to the high side. That time by Liam led the lap. Each one, they're crowding each other a little bit into the corners and down the straight. Julian stays on the high side. He's going to get a big run. He gets the lead down the backstretch to the inside. Ortiz in front of him.
Yeah, that draft from Ortiz is going to decide this race. Oh, he's pitting in. All right, O'Sullivan now has a much better chance of winning. Now that Altena does not have a draft from a lapper in front. Here we come to the white flag. Call it, Gary.
White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go. 2 more miles. Julian goes high. He's going to keep that momentum big time on the high side down the backstretch. Liam went low. Julian now to the inside trying to break the draft. Down the backstretch, Liam tries to try to keep that draft, keep the car straight, but I don't think he's going to have enough momentum. Julian now to the inside. Here we come to the checkered flag. Julian is going to get win number 2 this season and hold off his points rival and teammate, Liam O'Sullivan, who comes home second. Patrick Salvazzi, still seeking that first oval win, gets another podium, comes home third. And Matty makes it home in 8th.
Just in front of Pim Van Gastel. You see how those strategies aligned? Just a second apart. Matty just needed 1 yellow with 4 or 5 to go, and the story would have been much different today for Mr. Sinclair. But the overcut working wonders for Julian Altena as he celebrates in the infield with his teammate.
Here are your results for the California 250. From Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, Julian with the win by 0.3 of a second over Liam O'Sullivan. And Liam is going to still be the points leader. But Julian makes up a little bit of ground still with 2 rounds to go. Silvazzi on the podium in 3rd. Kinder in 4th. Hesche in 5th. Christensen in 6th. So 44 Nation, your guys got a solid top 10. Dan Inch in 7th, Matty Sinclair at 8th, Pim Gastel in 9th, and Ortiz in 10th. Strauss, Weber, and Santos, days they want to forget, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
We've got Silvazzi in the waiting room whenever you're ready, Gary.
Stand by. Okay. All right. And let's get into the interview room here. And he's already up here, Patrick Silvazzi. Congratulations, sir. P3. Not a terribly, I would say, exciting race. Just one of those races that you really needed to stay in the draft, minimize mistakes on pit road, and try to be there at the end. And unfortunately, those green flag pit stops kind of separated out at the end there, kind of separated out an already sparse field, make things a little bit more difficult. But you kind of got that 3rd spot. And another decent finish for you here in the Iconic Series.
Yeah, I actually really needed this after the last two DNFs last 2 races. Yeah, fuel worked out. Sadly, the undercut didn't work as per usual, and I should have learned it by every single time that overcut is the most successful strategy in with this car, and I never learned, and this was another example of it. But actually, the teamwork we had was phenomenal. Cheers, everyone. We actually thought that we can make it, but actually the lap 77 pit cycle, so the second to last caution, saved Seb's race basically because he was really tight on splashing, but that caution saved him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he was able to make it. And then, yeah, it's just another 3rd place, which I'm kind of mad. So it's like, I can't say anything less about like, I don't know. It just feels bad. My best result is 3rd place, but with like 10 of them.
I think that's eventually going to change. Go ahead, Clindy.
I know that feeling all too well, Patrick. I changed my username in the community Discord to KL3NDY because of all my 3rd place finishes on stream in the community broadcasts. But I wanted to ask a little bit more about the teamwork you and your Team Watson teammates were doing today. How much communication was going on the mic? How much were you picking lines and picking lanes? I saw you guys one time enact what I call attack pattern delta, where the leader takes the middle and then the 2 cars behind flank low and high to try to block out the Altenna cars, but it just didn't quite work out for you today. Is that something you guys can look to improve on, or what was your strategy at the time, and where do you think you could have done better?
first half of the race, it went completely wrong. Like we lost the toe. We tried, but we tried to stop drive, work, so we falled back. The pit cycles actually went really well because basically all three of us jumped a lot of places in the pit stop, and then the plan was, Seb was in front. Obviously, if he would have stayed on the green, he would have basically sacrificed to make it for our good. It worked because we were able to fuel save and we were having a pretty comfortable gap and everything. And then after that, it was clear that would be one stop for everyone. We just tried to lean back onto Liam. It sort of worked until the last start. Yeah, obviously we lost the toe, and then Julian came, but he went until I think fourth fuel until it was dry, and he had 10 lap fresher tires than everyone else, so it's quite easy for him. And obviously, bit bar on his, there was no chance. Have the chance for the win or top. Yeah. I swear to God, I never learn with these situations. As I already said it, like I always try to undercut, but then I realized that undercut isn't working with this car and with this tire model. And always it's the overcut which works. So, and obviously that was maybe the guys who stayed out under the last caution makes it on fuel. Obviously it happened in Iowa this season, and a lot of times in this series that saving one last stop actually can work. So it's always these stuff, and sadly the Wheel of Fortune picked over for me. Whatever, I really needed this podium because last two races and also the Nashville race last went pretty terrible, and I always call this post-Indy curse because first half of the season goes really well, just like last season. I got to win at Indy, did well, etc., etc. But then after Indy, I always make it into something, and so hopefully I can break it. I really need those good finishes for the last 3 rounds, as well as that I use basically for iconic. I have both my drop round off, so I can't afford to have another DNF. But for the main series, that's another.
Well, hopefully you get all your bad luck out of the way, and maybe you can convince Julian to put Indianapolis at the end of the schedule, so there is no post-Indy slump for you. But
especially the GP, yeah, that's what I need.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you got the bronze medal, you can shout out any friends, family, or sponsors you'd like. The floor is yours.
Yeah, cheers everyone, Seb, Matthias, and Vags as well, for helping this out and everything. So I'm really happy. Obviously, even if I didn't say it, if you guys felt like I wasn't happy, I'm fine with this. Like, obviously, it's a lottery. Luckily, so thanks everyone, and hopefully tomorrow is going to be a really good race at Portland because I'm really looking forward to it. I always said it 100 times that I was really looking forward to Portland. So yeah, but the thing is that 24 hours before the race, I haven't even bought the track, so that's gonna be fun. So I'm sorry I had to say this. So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, and then gonna need to be at least I feel like it's gonna be easy. Anyways, thanks everyone, and yeah, hopefully
you got
see
it.
you guys tomorrow.
You'll see you tomorrow. Go get the track.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will. Thanks, guys. You guys.
You're welcome. Take care, buddy.
All right. Points did come in. I want to update everybody on that before we bring up Liam. Actually, let's bring up Liam here. And there he is. And Liam P2. There you go. There he is again. Liam P2. But we have the updated points here. And I wanted to read that out before kind of kicking off the first question for you. But you are the points leader now by 41. So Julian ate into it a little bit, not a lot. So it's going to be you and Julian basically battling out over the next couple of races. Patrick moved up 2 spots to third. He is considerably farther out of the points championship. He's 46 behind Julian in second. Matty Sinclair is in fourth. Daniel Heshy fifth. Jesper down to sixth. Edson Santos in seventh. Strauss eighth. Christensen ninth. And Pim in 10th. Liam, talk about your race. Not an awful lot you could do to save fuel in this one, especially when you're kind of out front and setting the pace very early on.
Yeah, I mean, going into it, it was we knew I was expecting quite long green flag runs, especially we had a bit of a slightly lower car count, so I was expecting less cautions. Didn't happen in theory, so it changed the strategy a bit. There was a point mid race, that kind of first caution coming out. I think we all kind of went on the fuel save. We were good to make the numbers to. It was 6 laps earlier than the window I'd planned to pit, so I was good to make that up. But then the second caution kind of threw that out the window, and then we all went back racing. But otherwise, it was just about man marking Julian for the championship. He again, if the race was 1 lap shorter, I would have had it, but he took the risk on the older tyres, and well, I kind of played the more percentage game. But yeah. It was a good race in the end, and I've only dropped 8 points, and with a higher drop than him, it's looking quite nice for me.
Go ahead, Clindy.
Yeah, so obviously when we see kind of teammate battles at the front of the track today, how much communications did you and Julian do to kind of keep those Team Watson guys out? I know we talked a little bit about it with Patrick, but what were those comms like to make sure that you guys finished 1-2 instead of them?
There wasn't as much as usual. Normally on these high-speed ovals, there is that little bit of, oh, give me draft on the bottom, and especially when you go to places like Indy and Michigan and here. But today there wasn't much of it. I think Julian kind of had a mentality of, well, I need points. I've got this big lead over him. So there was, especially early on where we were side by side, that there was just dead silence. Like there wasn't much. It's just, we're both racing for a championship, and he's got to make up the points, and he's trying to beat me, and I'm trying to cover off him. Whether that's me finishing ahead or not, just as long as I'm near him, it doesn't matter. So there was less than usual. To be honest, there'll probably be more at Portland communication about strategy and stuff than there was about the race going on today, which, again, is unusual for a track like this. I think it is one of the quietest we've been at a track of kind of a 2-mile oval.
Well, you did get the silver medal today, Liam. I know that you're accustomed to being on the podium a lot. You get to shout out your friends, family, and sponsors, but yet again, you've earned the opportunity to do so yet again.
Yeah, mum, dad watching, grandparents as always, big support. Like I said, hopefully this championship's wrapped up. Thanks to the team. I mean, the amount of 1-2s, the 1-2-3 at Kansas we've had this season, massive step forward. Same in the other series, despite I think we're going to miss out on that championship again. But it's been a great step forward for the team, and we'll see what next season brings as a whole. And also thank you to Dan and the Alzheimer's Association again for supporting the series and all that they do.
Well, congratulations on the P2 points leader. 2 rounds to go. Next race, couple weeks out still at Homestead, Miami. And then the kind of the sprint to the championship really kicks off there. Best of luck, and congratulations on the P2. We'll catch you in about 3 weeks when we head to Homestead, Miami.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, let's bring up our winner. And that is Mr. Julian, and there he is. Hey, Julian, congratulations on the dub. Second win this season. I know leading into this race, you're just kind of not feeling into it. You're like kind of blah. Well, as for feeling blah, you got the win today. So has that brightened your day any?
Yeah, grumpy pretend old man is a lot happier now. You know that after a long week you're just grumpy. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Textbook out of clip or Michigan for me, to be honest, in this car. Yeah, just the typical pit late for tires, later than everybody else if you can, and try and hope for the best with lapped cars if they're involved or not. Wasn't really a factor today, so I had to do it myself. But was a fun race for sure. Yeah, it was fun battling Liam in the beginning. I think Liam touched on it in his interview. There was pretty much dead silence for the first stint. I enjoyed it a lot, racing for the lead like that. I was just easing into it, to be honest. I wasn't really going to push Liam at all in the first stint because as normal, it's a long race and you're trying to keep yourself alive and also your teammate, of course, first of all. I do have to apologize to Matthias. I was trying to pass the Team Watson army, I guess. And yeah, they left the middle open, so I took it, and then Seb moved up to try and mirror drive me, and I should have seen it coming, and I didn't. So I washed up into the wall, and that took Matthias out. Yeah, it's on me, to be honest. It's unfortunate, and I did say sorry over the voice chat, but it doesn't make his race any better, of course, because he DNF'd. But yeah, I don't know if you saw this, Gary, or not on the stream, but I hit the wall 4 times. I hit the wall so hard that I got 2 X's 4 times.
Oh, wow.
And surprisingly enough, it didn't actually hinder my performance. I was down a little bit on RPMs, like down 200 maybe on Liam. I was asking him in the middle part of the race where he was hitting the blue light for the shifts. And he was like, yeah, 3/4 down the straight. And I'm like, I'm hitting it into turn 1. So, yeah, that was less than ideal, but it didn't really matter in the end because the fresh tires were just so much better. And I think Liam got into some traffic when he came out of the pit, so that maybe helped me towards the end of the finals. Well, I wouldn't call it a splash because I took tires, but the final sprint, I guess, probably helped me there to be closer to him on pit out. But like I touched on, from there it was pretty much all by myself, and just really happy to pull it off again after a long week. I'm not used to working 40 hours, but I pulled it off. So it's been a good week. Making money, getting wins, hopefully tomorrow, but probably not, if I'm brutally honest. So yeah, finally some positives after a couple of weeks that have been really going against me. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Oakland.
They're all just belated birthday presents, Julian. Every single one of them. Every day is really a present in disguise. So I really don't have any questions for you, except for when did you decide you wanted to overcut, and when did you decide it was time to come to pit road?
Oh, that was always the plan. I just knew that this was going to turn into one of those Michigan races again. So there was never any doubt in my mind that I was going to pit late. The only debate that I did make was if I would actually take tires, because if I did short pit, I knew my tire wear was also pretty good compared to Liam. But yeah, like I said, I decided to take tires. But the call was always going to be to pit later than them anyway.
Well, you won. You got the gold medal. You can take all the time you want to shout out your friends, family, sponsors, your fan club in the chat, any of the above or more. You've earned the right to do so. Go ahead and take away the mic.
Yeah, I already rambled on for pretty long. I don't want to make it as long as Patrick's interview, so I'll just keep it short. Thanks to my girlfriend at home, to Alex from IFS Personal Financial Planning, you guys, Gary from Lovers Incorporated, Dan from the Alzheimer's Association, and everybody who came out. It wasn't that many cars, but still fun race. So thanks everybody.
Congratulations. Making the points race a little bit tighter. 2 races ago. We'll see you in a couple of weeks when we head to Homestead, Miami.
Yes, a much needed break.
Yes.
See you guys.
And if you didn't read between the lines, Julian there got a real person paying a real person high paying 40-hour job. So he's now into the 40-hour workforce, and he's feeling the pain of working all week and then coming and doing some of these races. So welcome to the 40-hour workforce, Julian. Kyle, welcome to the end of the broadcast. Interesting race. Yeah, we made it. Not terribly exciting, but sometimes these races, when they have small fields, they kind of work out where we do kind of get some excitement there to the end, and we did. Julian and Liam battled it out there over the last 5 laps to get the win. And Julian, even though being down on RPMs, had the fresher tires. and it seemed to work out better for him, and he gets his second win of the season. But still, Liam has a pretty healthy lead with 2 races to go.
Yeah, I think a lot would need to go wrong for Liam in order for Julian to steal this championship from him. But it's always better to have something interesting to talk about and drama to build in these final closing weeks of the season. I know springtime is starting to end, and we're going to start the summer months here soon. So fresh beginnings for everybody. 3 weeks time from now, springtime may as well be over. So hopefully the dog days of summer don't come for O'Sullivan, and he's able to close this championship out with just a couple of routine ho-hum days and drama-free. Been there, done that. I knows what it takes to just kind of dial it down and not take any risks. So we'll see if that comes to pass.
All right, let's. I'll read this outro, and then we can hop on the puddle jumper to go up to Portland for tomorrow. But that's it for today. Once again, your podium for the California 250 from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana is Julian Altina's second win of the season, and he is the all-time wins leader here in the Iconic Series. That's his 7th career win. He is the all-time leader with 7 over Eckert with 5 and Jesper Orman with 4. Finishing second today is Liam O'Sullivan, our points leader. Liam has himself a pretty healthy lead going into the final 2 races of the season. And Patrick Silvazzi, as he says, yet another podium, but hey, I'm willing to bet that there's quite a few other drivers, with the exception of first and second, that would swap spots with you. So take them as you get them. That is your podium from here at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. Join Clinius and myself again here in a couple weeks as for round 10 of season 5 of the VOR Iconic Series, as the teams and drivers head to Vice City and Homestead Miami Speedway. Coverage, of course, will be back to our old start time of 4 p.m. Eastern time, just like today, 4:00 p.m. Eastern. Remember, time changed now in the U.S. and Europe, so the correct broadcast time in your area. You can find everything right here on YouTube at youtube.com. Just search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought on today's race. If you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including action from their IndyCar Championship, which is tomorrow from Portland for the first ever Velocity Online Racing Grand Prix of Portland. 3 p.m. Eastern time right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Track cans for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description for business inquiries. To learn more about Velocity Online Racing and what we do, visit velocityonlineracing.com. Like them on Facebook or follow them on X. So for Clindy, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Godsoe saying to all, happy Friday, and thanks for watching. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us right here again in 3 weeks at Homestead Miami Speedway for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series. We'll see ya.